Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of MILF marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, this is Bree of Hearts and Stripes, and I am thrilled to have you here for another Heart to Heart. If you are here, you are ready to strengthen your military marriage. You are here to help me bring marriage back in style, and you are here because you like to celebrate authentically. So if that is you, buckle up because we are wrapping up our marriage bridge blueprint. All that is just my simple method of guiding couples to achieve a relationship that meets their core values, that they look forward to celebrating, and that they can strut their stuff out in these streets as a team, stronger together. That's what we believe in, and that is what it's all about. And all you have to do is follow the method and care. CARE. We have gone through careful consideration, assessing the foundation, reinforcing the structure, and today we are wrapping it up with engage and trust. And I know if you have followed along with us, you have really just learned some tools and put them in your toolbox as to how you can strengthen, sustain, and just grow your marriage. That's what it's all about, right? Maybe you have not followed along the ride. Don't worry, guys. You can go back. Head to episode 20, 22, and 24. That is where we break down CAR for care method. And today we're going to talk about that E, engage, and trust. And this one, I'm really not going to be before you long. It's not going to be a long heart to heart today because I'm going to take the words of my coach, Patrice Washington, and just share that with engage and trust, the power behind this phase of the marriage bridge blueprint is really in the doing. It's in the doing. And I think oftentimes, or I can just share, when I heard that the power is in the doing, that's kind of scary because it's like you want to make sure you got it right. You want to check the math on it. You want to design it and continue to tweak and change. But honestly, as you design a marriage that meets what your expected end is and what you want that picture of your relationship to look like, the power in making it happen is really in you doing it, you walking it out, you having those hard conversations, you exercising the things that you've gained by listening to episode 20, 22, and 24. And now this one, episode 26, engage and trust. So I am excited as we talk about this phase, because I'm gonna get a little nerdy with y'all for just 1 second. When I hear about trust, or I think about trusses, and trusses are a component that is on the bridge. It is actually what makes beautifully designed bridges so strong. And if you can picture or think of a bridge that you've seen, have you ever noticed the number of triangles that are in bridges? And oftentimes, if you're looking at the horizontal surface, you'll see triangles, a lot of triangles that are along that deck. And that's what's keeping your bridge strong. And those triangles, they're trusses, but I love how close it is to trust, because you have to trust in your relationship, and that's what makes it strong. And those triangles that I'm envisioning, one side is you, another side is your spouse, and the third side I like to think is God or your higher being. that keeps it all together. I love how in scripture it shares that a three-strand cord is not easily broken. There's three. There's that power in that number, and in those having those three sides that is making your structure, your marriage strong. And that's what engage and trust is all about. So we're going to dive into a little bit about communication, and engaging and trusting is all about communication. And one of the things that I like to highlight is a book that we've referred to before, and it's The Five Love Languages. And I want to specifically talk about the military edition. And if you have not heard us talk about five love languages, or you haven't heard of it before, the military edition was actually done by Dr. Gary Chapman. You'll hear from him later on in the podcast, probably on another episode. And it was also co-written by Jocelyn Green. And this version of the Five Love Languages books is special because they draw examples from each branch of the military, and they give you some tools to building intimacy over long distances. And it goes into how to reintegrate after a deployment, how you can maybe unlearn some harsh military styles of communication, which could be negatively impacting your marriage. It talks about rebuilding and maintaining emotional love in your relationship, and it also allows you and equips you with some resources to help you overcome some trauma that maybe your spouse has experienced. And that's all in the military edition of Five Love Languages. But let me break down those five love languages for you guys if you have not heard of them before. The first one, words of affirmation. The second, acts of service. Third, receiving gifts. The fourth, quality time. And the fifth, physical touch. So we all have a combination of these, but there's probably one that stands out more for you, and there's one that's going to stand out more for your spouse. And what we each need to do is figure out what our spouse's and our love language is. Because what we often find is that couples struggle with communicating in a way that it really speaks to your spouse. They're not able to receive what you're saying because it's like you're speaking in another language. So for example, I like to receive gifts, and I really love acts of service. Those are my two big things. But my husband could be wanting to hold my hand and give me back rubs and giving me hugs. What is that? That's physical touch. All those things are not speaking my love language. He may be doing a fantastic job in showing that, but that's his love language. So he may be showing me something that doesn't fill up my love tank. It's not speaking to me, and I'm not understanding what he's trying to share with me because that's not my love language. So it's super important to not only know your spouse's love language, but to do a temperature check with yourself and figure out what your love language is, because it's hard to communicate to someone what you need if you are unable or don't know what it is that you need. Like, you have to know yourself a little bit. You got to do some work on knowing yourself, so that you can help the other person communicate with you and have a healthy relationship. And what I love about this, Jennifer Brantley spoke about this in her episode 23. It was one of her tips actually that she showed. It was like, not only should you know the love language, you have to implement it. It's in the doing. That's what this episode is all about. It is in the doing. Demonstrate those love languages. Find ways to do it. And the reason why I highlight the book, this is not a paid advertisement. I just absolutely love Dr. Gary Chapman and his work. But that's why I really point to it as a resource, because they give you examples of how to demonstrate these love languages. As you heard, Becky Hoy from Brave Crate in our past episode, in deployed environments, it can be very challenging to strengthen and keep your marriage thriving if you're not intentional about it. And the book, Five Love Language Military Edition, gives you practical tips and ways to implement these things so that regardless of where you and your spouse are, if you're geographically separated, you can still show love and speak their love language. And it's so important. It's so important to help you stay engaged in your relationship. So a step farther on being engaged in your relationship, not only are we going to speak each other's love language, but we're going to do the work. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to do the work on our marriage. And laying out this marriage bridge blueprint, you have an idea of what you guys, you've done the hard part. You've done the below the surface stuff. But in engaging and trusting, you're also looking at those plans. When we talked about setting those rules previously, when we talked about figuring out those expectations, you in this portion of the phase, you are looking at those goals, those long and those short-term goals, to say, hey, honey, for our relationship, we want to ensure that we grow in love each year. How are we doing that? Well, maybe you're making a list of some items that speak to each other's love language, and you're going to intentionally plan something or some times when you're accomplishing that. Y'all absolutely know that I love when I spoke about the foundation, when we're assessing our foundation. And the reason why it was so important to have good ground is because we're trying to get that fruit, that return on investment, right, to be 160 and 30-fold, so that you are overflowing. You have more than enough that you can serve and give to others, because your relationship is a blessing to other people, right? That takes a plan. That takes a plan, and you operating that plan. So engage in those things. It's one thing to listen to the podcast episodes and to receive the information. And I'm hoping that you EYS. If you didn't, go back and EYS, because it's in the doing. Like I can say it 1,000 times in this episode, and I probably will, because it is easier said than done. Even me here recording this episode, I'm telling you that if I just recorded and did none of these things, my marriage would not be fruitful. So I'm in this with you. I'm not up here trying to be an expert, acting like I know all the answers. That's not it. I'm here for my marriage too. I have to show up just like you do for your marriage every day. Every day you have to make the choice to engage. Every day you have to make the choice to trust. And I hope that as we laid out each phase of the marriage bridge blueprint, it's easier to trust. That's why trust is last. Because you've already carefully considered the cost that it would take for you to get this far, or to get to that expected end, that death do us part. You've already done that. You've assessed the foundation. You've talked about the people that you maybe don't need in your relationship. You talked about those preconceptions. You've talked about your mindset that you kind of have to have, right? So you're on the same page with those things. You've reinforced your structure. You have rules now, right? Because you EYS, you wrote your 5 rules and your 3 expectations. Y'all have set the groundwork to where all you have to do is engage. And now you can trust, because you know that you're on the same page. You know that you're both working towards the same goal. You plan for the same team. You want the same results. That's where we are right now. And I'm super excited. That is a great thing. That is a big thing. And y'all know, or you should know, that I love to celebrate. We are here to celebrate authentically, right? And what I mean celebrate authentically is after you've done the work in all of these phases, your marriage and what you have built, your marriage bridge might not look like somebody else's, but that's okay because it is authentic and true to you too. And that's all that matters. You can trust that you two have designed your marriage bridge blueprint. You can engage and put it into action. You can expect what will come out of it. And you can trust that you'll be happy with it because it's designed and tailor-made for you. You can trust the person that's operating and working in it with you. Go ahead. I know trust is a big thing. And I hope that as you walk through these phases that you have found that weight has kind of been lifted off your shoulder because you did the work. And it's okay. Maybe I'm talking to some people who didn't do the work. You can go back, listen to those episodes, and do the work. EYS. That's what we're about to do. EYS. Summer is here, friends, and as the temperature rises, I have an option that will keep you cool and some awesome families connected. So United Through Reading has partnered with Patriot Pops. These delicious freezer pops are available now, and they support military families stay connected through daily reading. So where can you find them? They are exclusively at Dollar General. Just check the aisles where your favorite drinks are, like Capri Sun, or in the summer seasonal section. A little bit about United Through Reading. They have a free and secure app that's easy to use, and service members can order a free book. That's right, a free book to send to the children in their life that they would like to read for. That's the UTR app. UTR app is available. It is open for active duty, National Guard, Reserve, and veterans. So make sure you download that app and head over to Dollar General so that you can enjoy your own Patriot Pops. You hear the music. We are earning our stripes over here, EYS. And I am going to do something special for this EYS. We are going to do a giveaway. And how you can enter this giveaway is by simply going to our past episodes, starting with episode 20. If you have EYS from episode 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, I need you to tag B Carol Events. Tag B Carol Events so that you can be entered into the giveaway for the hashtag Mill Marriage Strong collection. I will be selecting winners at random so that you can get an opportunity to win one of our items from our hashtag Mill Marriage Strong collection. If you're interested on what those items might be, head over to bcarolevents.com and check out, shop around, and see what the collection has. This is the time that you can EYS and you can earn something special for the two of you to enjoy. Let's do it. This podcast is sponsored by B Carol Events for wedding and event planning and design. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few, the proud, that aim high and are forged by love. Always ready, always there. We are Mill Marriage Strong.